All right, so this is the Hasselblad X2D, the sequel to the X1D. It's got a 100 megapixel medium format sensor. It's made entirely of metal and it's incredibly high quality. The thing about Hasselblad cameras though, that I never really have gotten to say in a video before is that they're really confusing cameras. They're almost like not made for real people that exist. I'm gonna try to explain. Basically, my feeling is the way I talk about cameras like this reminds me of the way I hear some people talk about like old sports cars, like old Porsches, 1970s 911s. This is a $9,000 camera that doesn't shoot video, that has really slow autofocus, that can take one photo every few seconds, and only has a very small ecosystem of lenses to go with it. But the experience, that's what it's about, it's the experience.
This is the focus point of this video today. It's the Hasselblad X2D, handmade in Sweden. This thing just like all these bits and pieces that it just feels lovely. Also, 1 terabyte of internal storage. All cameras should do that. But yeah, this thing's gonna shoot all of the photos we're gonna shoot today. Get everyone looking fine and sharp. Also, like, this was the camera brought to the moon, so like obviously we have to use it here.
This exact one?
This exact one was brought to the moon.
This exact camera made in the year 2022 of our Lord?
It was in that soundstage when they went to the moon.
So okay, I have the 55 on it right here. Here's just a couple things to note, right? This on the lens itself is the focus ring, which will go all the way to the end, but then keep spinning. It doesn't have to do that. Hard stop on the focus ring, but it keeps spinning. Then it picks up, goes back the other way. If I go to the middle and switch to manual and twist it a bunch, it doesn't change focus until I come back. It's amazing. Like the Hasselblad logos all over the rings, this clicky ring being customizable here. The metal on metal machining is so precise that the gap between the lens and this mount here is just perfect.
So we're trying to put a monitor on this so that we can live model ourselves and like look through a giant screen. But the only thing is, there's a USB-C port.
And no HDMI.
Yeah.
Is there, I mean, we've got adapters, right?
We have an iPad.
A camera like this makes you a little bit more deliberate about the shooting experience. And we're using it, as you can tell, in the studio for some stuff that it works kind of well for, like a studio portrait where the subject's not moving too much and you can manual focus or rely on decent autofocus. I don't know, it's just like holding this super well-built thing. It's so well balanced. The doors to the card slots are metal and spring-loaded. And by the way, you don't even need them because there's a terabyte of built-in storage. USB-C up here at the top, the shoe, everything, the screen, it's responsive. But it's just how well it's built, how well it's made, and the feeling of the shutter and shooting and the thunk and all that. Sounds like an old guy talking about an old Porsche, right? It's like, wouldn't you rather have an R5 or an A7S that shoots 1,000,000 frames a second with blazing fast autofocus? Yeah, for most people, that's gonna be better and cheaper. But if you've got an extra $8,000 and you're really into the craftsmanship and the process of actually capturing one photo, there's something about these cameras that's just, I can't explain it to anyone who doesn't actually appreciate this stuff, but I like it a lot. So I'm a fan of the Hasselblad X2D.
So just to keep track of everything, I'm trying to like figure out who has what shirt and then check it off the list. That way we're fully covered by the end of the shoot with at least one person wearing a shirt.
Yeah, we have like a couple of volunteers for hat wearing. We have a couple floaters. That way I will be a floater.
So any shirts that we don't have good coverage of, we'll just fill in the blanks.
Where are we selling that merch? Where do you go to get it?
You can go to shop.mkbhd.com.
Wow, sounds like a cool website.
Don't go to lttstore.tech, but maybe you should go there like afterwards, but make sure to go to ours first.
I was gonna do.
It's me, reporting live from the scene of the studio. Here to tell you. Like you're in a Blink-182 music video.
Precisely.
It's kind of hard because it's so dark.
Yeah, I can't focus on it. Manual focus.
Bring the keyboard down here. So, yeah.
Just like straight face forward, look at the camera.
Okay. Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow.
See? But yeah, like that's
This is
there,
ridiculous.
and then that's for scale.
Wow.
That's where that was.
That's great.
Get yourself a Hasselblad camera. It's practically cheap. You know.
Like 8?
3, 2.
Yeah.
3, 2, go. Straighten the cup a little bit. There you go.
We're trying to recreate a Wendy's scene. I've got a hairdryer.
Yeah. Okay. So what I think we should do.
You look wonderful.
Start to put it on your head. Give me your best Fallout Boy pose.
Yeah, it just looks sad.
Okay, so that was a full day of shooting. There's an ungodly amount of photos on this camera. I'm scared how much storage I'm gonna need for my computer to actually get all of these on there. But I wanted to say that this has been a very enjoyable experience. I'm excited to actually edit these, so on to ping pong.
Wow. I did make the mistake of trying to bring a Hasselblad to an event once. The event I chose was CES, and I brought the Hasselblad with a zoom lens because I thought it would be versatile. And it's fine, it works, and I get these gigantic files and I eventually can edit them and shoot them, but an event like that is always more about the utility. I'm trying to just capture the thing quickly and then move on. When I get a Hasselblad file, I want to import it, I want to look at it, I want to figure out what I want to do with it, I want to edit it, I want to sit on it, sleep on it, wake up the next day, edit it some more. I want to play with the files, and that's what this is more about, rather than just like what most cameras are built for, which is most shooting situations, which is not this.
This is all internal storage of a terabyte, so we're just going directly into the Mac Pro on the top. And actually, you can see me right now. I'm importing the last like 4 photos that I just shot with David. Look at how slow my computer's being right now.
Now comes the fun part of
I'm still figuring out how
searching through photos and having just a right old good time doing so. This is about, I don't know, did we mention the file size yesterday?
I think so a little bit. But
Overall, this whole entire folder of photos from yesterday, is over 140 gigs of photos.
how many photos is it though?
That's a great question.
466 photos. 140 gigabytes, including the RAWs and the JPEGs.
You know, I leave most of the editing of the photos to the professionals, and like I have some fun with it. I play with the dynamic range, I play with the high dynamic range stuff, and I even find that the colors on these aren't as nice as Canon color. I think a lot of times Canon straight out the camera color-wise looks better. But medium format and 100 megapixels is just a thicker file. You can just do more with the DNG out of this guy. It's just more to play with. So if I was gonna edit a photo, I'd pick the Hasselblad.
Also, Ellis,
Oh no.
absolute murder.
Dude, Ellis destroyed
Yeah,
you.
you guys.
Killed us.
You guys
killed
are all
us.
models.
Art. I love Ellis modeling.
I have one face, and it's just like,
Blue steel and that's it.
no.
The sound it makes. You hear that? You picking up any of that? I'll be editing this for the next 45 minutes.